Welcome to the Explainer. So, you're gearing up for an English exam and feeling, well, maybe a little stressed out about grammar. Take a deep breath. Today, we are going to calmly demystify English conditionals. I know. They can look like this giant, intimidating wall of confusing formulas, but I promise you, we're going to break them down into simple, logical pieces that you can confidently use on test it. Look at this quote from the College of English Language. They perfectly describe conditionals as seeming like a Gordian knot, with all those complicated rules. If you're currently feeling overwhelmed, I want to assure you, you are completely normal. They use almost all the English tenses, so yeah, it is a whole lot to juggle. But honestly, don't let that discourage you. We are going to untangle this knot together, step by step. And to show you just how manageable this whole thing actually is, here's our simple roadmap for today. First, untying the Gordian knot. Second, the 5 conditional types. Third, linking past and present. Fourth, 6 common grammar mistakes. And finally, daily practice and confidence. Let's get right into it. Okay, section 1, untying the Gordian knot. What exactly is a conditional? Before we even start looking at formulas, we need to understand the core concept. At its absolute heart, every single conditional sentence is just a simple cause and effect relationship. It's an if clause. It just tells us that if something happens, well, something else is going to happen. That is literally it. Whether the situation is a solid fact, a future possibility, or some completely imaginary scenario, it all just boils down to cause and effect. And, realizing that instantly makes the grammar feel a whole lot less daunting. Moving right along to section 2, the 5 conditional types, going from universal truths to imaginary pasts. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it gives us this fantastic visual hack to reduce that overwhelming feeling. It breaks down the first 4 types so cleanly. From the 0 to the 3rd conditional, you can literally see the progression here, how we shift from general truths over into possible futures, and then slide all the way into completely imaginary or impossible scenarios. It's a great cheat sheet before we zoom in on each one. So let's start with type 0. This is all about universal truths. The structure is super straightforward. It's just if plus the present simple followed by the present simple again. We use this for facts, general truths, and laws of nature that are absolutely always true. Like, if you heat ice, it melts. That's a guaranteed scientific fact, right? Every single time you heat it, it melts, no exceptions. Next up is type 1, and we use this for real future possibilities. Here, the structure shifts just a bit. It's if plus the present simple, followed by will or won't plus the base verb. Think of this as your go-to tool for real, logical, and highly possible situations in the future. So, if it rains tomorrow, we'll stay home. It hasn't happened yet, obviously, but it is a very realistic, possible outcome based on that specific condition. Okay, now we are crossing over into the realm of the imaginary with type 2, the unreal or imaginary present. The formula here is if plus the past simple, followed by would plus the base verb. We use the second conditional for unlikely or totally hypothetical scenarios in the present or future. For instance, if I had $1 million, I'd buy a house. Now, spoiler alert here, I definitely do not have $1 million sitting around right now, so this is a completely imaginary situation. And then we hit type 3, the unreal past. This is exclusively for things that simply didn't happen. The formula is if plus the past perfect, followed by would have or could have plus the past participle. This one is strictly for imaginary past situations. Think regrets or missed opportunities. Like, if I had studied harder, I would have passed. But well, I didn't study hard and the test is already over. Both the condition and the result are forever stuck in the past. Let's move to section 3 and see how this all builds. Linking past and present, understanding mixed conditionals. And this table right here brilliantly illustrates exactly what happens when a past event impacts your present reality or vice versa. It clearly separates the 2 main ways we mix these timeframes. First, look at a past condition with a present result. If I had gone to bed earlier, I wouldn't be tired now. The action of going to bed was last night, but the exhaustion, yeah, that's happening right now, today. Second, we have a present condition with a past result. If I were more organized, I would have met the deadline. In this case, my ongoing present trait of just not being very organized directly affected a specific event that already wrapped up in the past. All right, section 4, 6 common grammar mistakes. Navigating the traps. Listen, making mistakes is a totally normal part of learning. We're going to look at the top 6 errors learners make so you know exactly what to dodge on test day.
So, the crucial point here is actively checking your own writing against these common pitfalls. Let's run through this mental self-assessment checklist. Are you putting will or would inside the if clause? Are you falling into the unless trap? Are you confusing the second and third types, maybe forgetting mixed conditionals altogether, dropping the word have, or missing your commas? Let's break these traps down one by one.
Okay, mistake number 1 is using will or would directly inside the if clause. It is so tempting to say the wrong version here. If you will come tonight, I will make dinner. It sounds okay, but it's grammatically incorrect. The correct form is simply, if you come tonight, I will make dinner. You generally just don't put will right next to if. No, actually, scratch that. There is one super rare exception, where you might say something like, if she will keep on doing that, I'll have to fire her. But that's specifically to express strong disapproval of a really annoying habit. For your standard exam questions, just keep will and would entirely out of the if clause. Moving to mistake number 2, the incorrect use of the word unless. The golden rule you have to remember here is that unless already means if not. So if you say, unless you don't leave my house, I will call the police, you are accidentally creating a really confusing double negative. It's literally like saying, if you don't not leave. See how messy that gets? The correct, clean phrasing is, unless you leave my house, I will call the police. Keep it simple. Unless carries all the negative meaning on its own. Mistake 3 is confusing the time frames for the second and third conditionals. Look at this second conditional sentence. If she studied harder, she would be a great student. This means right now, in the present day, she doesn't study hard, so she isn't a great student. It is a hypothetical present. But if we flip to the third conditional, if she had studied harder, she would have finished university. This is entirely in the past. She didn't study, and that ship has sailed. She already missed out on finishing university. You have to make sure you use that third type strictly for the past. Mistake 4 is forgetting the mixed conditional entirely. Sometimes as learners, we try to force absolutely everything into a strict type 2 or type 3 structure, even when the timeframes are crossing over. Check out this example. If I had earned a lot of money abroad, I would have a spacious house now. The condition, earning the money, happened in the past, but the consequence, having the big house, is right now. You absolutely must use a mixed conditional to accurately express a past action that is currently affecting your present life. Mistake 5. This is a super common structural error in the third conditional, and that is dropping the word have. It is so easy to accidentally write or say, if I had seen her, I would tell her everything. But remember, because this is a third conditional talking about a past event, the rule strictly dictates we use would plus have plus the past participle. So it must be, if I had seen her, I would have told her everything. Always, always double check for that have on your exams. And finally, mistake 6. It's incredibly simple, but so often overlooked, especially on written exams, and that is the missing comma rule. If your sentence starts with the if clause, you must place a comma right before the main clause. If she had money, she would buy a new house. It is a tiny little punctuation detail, but for sure, it is absolutely crucial for correct writing.
Okay, section 5, daily practice and confidence. We've covered a ton of ground today, and you've done fantastic sticking with me. But knowing the formulas is only half the battle. Using them naturally takes practice outside of the classroom. Let's look at how to build that speaking confidence.
I want to give you 3 highly effective, totally low-pressure daily drills to get you game day ready. First, just take a few minutes each day to write 5 sentences of your very own for each conditional type. Second, say them aloud. Better yet, record yourself on your phone. Conditionals have a very specific rhythm to them, and speaking them aloud helps you master that natural stress and intonation. And third, play around with them. Try taking one sentence and changing just a single part of it, like shifting it from the present to the past, to see exactly how the meaning shifts. Doing this daily will really reinforce your verb tenses and help alleviate that testing anxiety. You've totally got this. Well, you now have all the tools you need, so here is my final challenge for you. If you had to write your very first, flawlessly correct conditional sentence right now, what would it be? Use what we've learned today, pick a type, and leave your absolute best hypothetical scenario in the comments below. You have officially untied the Gordian knot of English conditionals. Best of luck on your exams, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next explainer.